What does Bonner's addition now mean for the Fever's title potential?
I think the Indiana Fever, with the addition of DeWanna Bonner after already adding Natasha Howard and Sophie Cunningham, are now in the championship conversation, along with the New York Liberty, the Minnesota Lynx, and the Las Vegas.
Danielle Bonner just sent a strong message to the entire WNBA, and her teammate Alyssa Thomas isn't happy about it. Instead of joining Thomas at the Phoenix Mercury, Bonner packed her bags for the Indiana Fever to team up with none other than Caitlin Clark.
DeWanna Bonner, while she's in Indianapolis for the Indiana Fever, she will be separated from her wife, well, soon-to-be wife, Alyssa Thomas. They are currently engaged, okay? Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner, for years, have been teammates at the Connecticut Sun.
You're probably wondering what's going on here. We're about to break down exactly why this move makes the Fever instant contenders, and why Alyssa Thomas isn't taking it well. Stick around to see how this power move is shaking up the WNBA. Are you ready? Let's dive in.
Like, when you go down the list of like all the trades and all the moves and everything, it takes you a while to get to DeWanna Bonner, but her going to Indiana is, I mean, with what they now have, they already had a team. They got a team.
You know what's wild? DeWanna Bonner just turned the WNBA upside down, and it's not just because of her smooth crossover. This six-time All-Star had a big decision to make this offseason, and everyone thought the choice was obvious. Join Alyssa Thomas in Phoenix to chase another championship, right? Wrong.
That's a lot. Okay, she's going to be in Indiana and Indy, whereas her wife, Alyssa Thomas, will be in Phoenix Mercury. I'm sorry, she'll be a Mercury at Phoenix Mercury, but she'll be in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, two totally different regions of the U.S., right? So again, it's like the fact that I'm sure that money talked, and Stephanie White is the head coach. I would love to play for Stephanie White. She's an amazing, incredible coach.
The move caught everyone off guard. She's heading to Indiana instead. But why? That's where things get interesting. The Fever haven't been anywhere near the WNBA Finals in years. So what did Bonner see in Indiana?
I am ready to proclaim the Indiana Fever as your WNBA champs.
Let's break down what Bonner brings. She's a walking bucket with 2 championship rings and a versatile skill set. Standing 6'4" with a wingspan to match, Bonner can guard multiple positions and hit threes with ease. In the 2024 season, she averaged 15 points and 6 rebounds per game, shooting over 41% from the field. Solid consistency that makes coaches breathe easy.
Bonner adds versatility for them. Coming into this offseason, they needed a stretch 4, a player who could run the floor. They got that in Howard and they got that in Bonner. They also got versatility by signing DeWanna Bonner. Not necessarily the sexiest, biggest name signings, but the pieces they needed to contend for a championship. I think now Indiana is in that championship conversation.
The stats only tell part of the story. Bonner has been a clutch performer throughout her career, stepping up when the pressure is on. In the 2024 playoffs, she scored 37 points in 2 games against the Fever, all while taking on the primary task of guarding Caitlin Clark. Talk about a statement performance. It's no surprise the Fever management was so impressed, they decided if you can't beat them, sign them.
In DeWanna Bonner, the Indiana Fever have signed one of the all-time greats who brings major big game experience to Indiana along with her. Bonner is a 2-time WNBA champion and quite literally the most experienced postseason player ever. Her 87 playoff games are more than any player in WNBA history.
Now imagine being Alyssa Thomas. Your wife just chose to play with the Indiana Fever instead of joining you. That's got to sting more than a tough loss. Thomas is probably at home rewatching game tape, reflecting on what could have been in Phoenix.
Bonner is still playing at a very high level. She is a 6-time All-Star, making the All-Star team in each of her last 2 seasons, and has gotten MVP votes in 6 different seasons, including last year. Her length makes her a major weapon on both ends of the floor, allowing her to get shots off regardless of how tight the defense is, and finish in tight quarters inside. Her game is multi-dimensional. She's knocked down more than 600 threes in her career, but she's also very effective as a driver, a slasher, and a passer.
But Bonner's move isn't just about basketball. It's about believing in a vision, even if it means stepping out of her comfort zone. And let's be honest, playing alongside Caitlin Clark is a great opportunity. Yeah, that Caitlin Clark. The one who's been breaking records and dominating since she first hit the court. Bonner has always respected Clark's game, and now she gets to be part of the Clark experience firsthand.
What was the reason for putting you on Caitlin? Usually, DeWanna guards her.
Just game planning, trying to come up with a strategy. They beat us last time, so we had to do something different. Yeah, that was about it. It was nothing behind it. They got 2 great guards, so somebody got to step up and play defense. And I mean, that's the only way to beat them. So just took on the challenge, and she's a great player. I know next game she's gonna come out firing. So got to go back, watch some video, and see what we can do. But it was nothing behind it. I mean, that's the only way we can win, honestly.
The Fever aren't just adding Bonner. They've been making moves like a chess grandmaster on espresso. Natasha Howards, Sophie Cunningham, and Sydney Carlson are all joining the squad. It's like the Fever decided to build their own basketball Avengers, with Clark as their Captain America and Bonner as the sharpshooting Black.
You've been asked to do something today that you haven't done all season. Guard Caitlin Clark. She's 0 for 3 when you're defending her. How have you made your presence felt there?
Well, let me knock on some wood real quick. She's a great player. I know she's going to come out second half ready to go, so I got a key in.
Why did DeWanna Bonner really choose the Fever over playing with her wife? Sure, the chance to play with Caitlin Clark is tempting, but there's more to it. Bonner is reuniting with her former coach, Stephanie White. It's like getting the band back together, but this time with a star player in Clark. The Fever are done being the WNBA's underdogs. They're building something special, and Bonner wants to be part of it from the start. It's like she looked at the Fever's blueprint and thought, yeah, I can see myself in that top spot.
While Bonner has never played for the Fever before, she'll come to Indiana with plenty of connections thanks to her time in Connecticut, where she played 2 seasons under Fever head coach Stephanie White, assistant coach Austin Kelly, and player development coach Keith Porter. With Bonner, the Fever can now boast a starting lineup where all 5 players are also all-star.
DeWanna hopes to go head-to-head against Alyssa on the court.
Oh, if I make it, I'm going.
The heavy contact. A little bit of a shoulder there. Not a little bit, a lot of a shoulder.